Hey everyone, it is Willow. Welcome back. In today's video, I want to be speaking about gratitude and how to actually embody gratitude and practice it so that way you can strengthen it, because I feel like gratitude is one of those things where it is so difficult to put yourself in a state of gratitude when you're in a difficult situation or you're just not feeling your best. When you're not feeling your best, you're not in a good environment, you don't want to be happy and like joyful. But there are ways that you can actually practice gratitude and work through it in order for you to get to a point where when you are in those positions, you handle them a lot differently than you previously would have. I do want to start off by dismantling toxic positivity, because I feel like when people talk about gratitude or they tell you that you need to be more grateful about something, it is like this toxic positivity mentality that they kind of enforce or push, and that's just not what gratitude is at all. I hate toxic positivity. I think toxic positivity is really, really dangerous, especially because it dismisses so many valid emotions and feelings. You're not going to be happy all the time. Like, there's just no way that every single day is going to be like rainbows and sunshine. And for people that do say that, like, you know, they found really like a very high level of joy and they find joy in every single day, I think they have learned and practiced gratitude to a point where they have now exercised that muscle so much it's like easier to use. But when you are not frequently practicing that, or you don't have, you know, like the outlet to do that all of the time, you're not going to be in a position where something bad happens and you automatically like are like, I'm positive, I'm happy, this is great, this is amazing. And I don't want anybody to think that like something is wrong with them because they're like, oh well, people are telling me to just be positive and to be happy and all of this. And it's like, it is so, I don't know, I feel like it's so left field. There's balance in life, which means that there is polarity in emotions as well. You're gonna have positive emotions, you're going to have negative emotions, but because you have those negative emotions and those negative thoughts at times, it does not mean that you are not grateful. It doesn't mean that you're not a positive person. Life is life. Like, you're never gonna catch somebody on 100 all of the time, and I feel like the only time you do is when somebody is forced to be in that state. Like, seriously, I think there is nothing authentic about being positive 24/7 and like being in like the happiest mentality. Granted, joy and gratitude are one of the highest frequencies next to love. Obviously love is the highest, but next to love, and that is something that you should always strive for every single day. You should strive to remain in those frequencies and remain in that state. But if you steer a little bit down on the other side for a little while, that's okay. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Gratitude becomes easier the more that you practice it. It's kind of like a muscle. Like, you know, when you start going to the gym and you're working out, you are building muscle and you're starting to lift heavier and heavier as time goes on. Same thing with gratitude. It's like the more that you practice gratitude, the easier it's going to become in situations. So when you do come across situations that probably used to bother you before, you're going to be like, like, you know, it is what it is. And then heavier situations, you're going to be able to handle with more grace and more gratitude than you would have been able to previously. The ultimate goal with gratitude is to be able to be in a situation that you don't want to be in, or for something to happen to you that, you know, kind of sucks and like it's a little bit of a negative, but instead of you like staying in that mentality, you are able to find a way out of it. Like, you're able to feel the emotion and go through the emotion of like, yeah, this sucks and I hate this about this and I really don't like that, but you don't dwell on it. You're not constantly having your thoughts surrounding it. You're not like absorbing that feeling and like staying it for a long period of time, but rather you're letting it pass through you, and then you're able to point out positives in that situation. An example of this may look like a job situation. So say you really are looking for a new job and you're in your current job and it's not the best job, but you know, it does what it needs to for now. And it's not a job where you feel like you're being harmed at, or it is, you know, deteriorating to your mental health, but it definitely is a job that is like something you want to get out of. You're just like, I don't want to be here anymore, I want a new job. And instead of you like every single day being like, I hate this job sucks, like I don't want to be here, you like are kind of like, oh, yeah, like this job, here we go. But like you still are able to kind of let that feeling pass and then find the good in this job. Maybe your job is, you know, you get to help people. It's in an area that you really do love, in a field that you love to do. Or maybe it's your coworkers. Maybe you just love your coworkers and you love the people inside that environment. Like finding that positive and that gratitude is going to help you get through that season so much easier. That would be an example of the ultimate gratitude goal. Like you're not allowing your job to create this toxic mentality within yourself of just saying how like every day sucks, but rather you find the good and the positive in the job and you're going to continue to keep pushing through it. Doesn't mean that you're never going to find your way out, because you most definitely will, especially if you keep taking the measures and the steps and the whatever you need to do in order for you to receive a new opportunity. However, you are now flipped kind of your perspective on it, and you're allowing yourself to enjoy what the good that comes out of that job position is. When I was practicing gratitude, it was really hard for me because I was in a state where I was just like, everything sucks. Like I don't want, like I'm annoyed, I'm irritated, like I'm just like, this is the last thing you want to do is like be like, oh, life is great, like I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, I'm so appreciative. When you are in that mentality, it is like awful, it's so bad. And it's like the one thing that people tell you is that like you just need to be grateful. So when I was trying to figure this out, I really was like digging deep into it and trying to find ways that like I could practice gratitude, and not in like do meditation. I feel like meditation is a very, very big one, which I understand now because I've been able to kind of work on my gratitude and I have a different capacity for it. But at that time, meditation was just not it. Like I would sit in meditation and all my thoughts were like just continuously being not the greatest, and I'm like, this isn't working, like nothing is happening, this isn't working for me. But when you do start to like expand your capacity for it and you do start to practice gratitude, meditation is so good, it's like golden. But one of the mentalities that helped me so much is understanding how much the Lord has done for me and how much I've overcame through the Lord. So obviously you can look back at certain seasons, you can look back at certain eras of your life, and you may cringe and be like, oh gosh. But looking back at those moments where you genuinely felt like you may have hit rock bottom and somehow you were able to get through that season, you were able to get through that situation, you came out the other end a stronger and better version of yourself, that is enough to be grateful right there. Enough to be grateful for the Lord and for all that he provides for you in your life, the appreciation for where you're at, because who knows if you would have went the other route from whatever that situation was. And that is like something that has helped me so much with gratitude. Even the bad situations that the Lord has made good. I have had a few bad situations in my past where at that moment I genuinely thought I was going to like exit. I was like, this is awful, like this hurts so bad, it is painful, I do not like this. And the Lord continued to carry me through that season. He continued to be there and show up for me and even provide blessings, and not just the blessings that the Lord gives us, but every single day, the lives that we live. And that is how I kind of shaped my mentality to focus on gratitude. I looked at the little tiny things that I do on a daily basis that make me comfortable. And if you are comfortable, if you are safe, consider yourself beyond blessed. Seriously, beyond blessed. Like there are so many things in your life that you can count for gratitude. It is insane. And I know that a lot of the times our problems seem so much bigger than they truly are, because it's our life, it's our perspective, we're seeing life through our eyes. Of course, we're gonna have those moments where it's like, this is the biggest thing on earth, and if this doesn't happen, if X, Y, and Z doesn't go this way, then I'm just not going to make it. And I promise you, like, you will. I promise. It is sometimes one of the craziest things to think about, because we all live on this life, but we all have such different experiences, and what somebody else goes through can be extremely heavy, but that could be the smallest to somebody else, and vice versa. Staying in this mentality of counting all of the things that the Lord has done for me, all of the ways he has carried me, has truly transformed my gratitude to the biggest level of extremities, and also my faith as well, because it goes to show how many times God has shown up for you, even when you didn't even ask him to, even when it wasn't in your prayer, even when, you know, he wanted you to talk to him and you didn't. Like, he continuously shows up for you every single day, in every moment. In this moment right now, he is showing up for you. And I just think that is such an amazing thing to be appreciative for and to be grateful for, and leaning into that has helped me tremendously. Now, two practices that I felt were very, very, very effective, especially when you are in that mentality of like, everything sucks. I get it, trust. Number one was writing a list. So instead, like in that moment, because journaling also does help, but I could not, like, sometimes journaling is one of those moments where it's like I really got to be locked in, and I don't know why, but journaling, it's a hit or miss for me at times, especially when I'm in one of those mentalities where I'm going through something hard. So writing it down in a list helped so much. Just writing what you can. Like, I'm grateful for my water bottle, I'm grateful for my car, I'm grateful for my job, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my loved ones. Like, just whatever you are grateful for, write it down in a list, and you will start to notice how, like, when you're writing, it gets more detailed and detailed and detailed. Like, I'm grateful for this pen right now, like, I'm grateful for this paper. And I know it sounds so silly, but you truly sit in that moment and you're just like, wow, like, look at the list, like, there's so much to write about. And like, you can sit down and just be like, you know, maybe I am grateful that this situation is happening because it's drawing me closer to the Lord. Maybe I am grateful that this situation is happening because it's showing me how to handle my worth and how to go move in specific situations, or shape my mentality, change my habits, whatever it is. Like, you have so much that you can write down, and in that moment, I know you may be like, I don't want to write anything down, I just don't even want to do anything. Valid. But writing them down helped a lot for me. And even if it was just a few things, I think sometimes when we are in moments, depending on the severity level of it, of course, but I feel like with me, I get very like, girl, it's not that deep. Like, as soon as I finish writing my list, I'm like, it's really not that deep. Like, why am I sitting here like really going crazy over this? Like, I know the Lord is going to provide, I know he's going to do what he needs to do, so snap out of it. And then you know, I'm able to come to terms with reality and look at all of the amazing and beautiful things in my life and shape my positive mentality, or shape my lens to be more positive. The next one was prayer. Whenever I was in a moment of like just negativity and I was just not feeling great, and I'm like, I'm over this and everything and everyone, prayer helped so much. And I'm not talking about prayer like, you know, really getting into worshiping and all of that. I'm talking about me being like, God, listen, I need to talk, I need you to be here with me, like, and just genuinely like speaking to him about what was on my heart and what was burdening me at that time. And then for some reason, you know, when you pray, you always feel the Holy Spirit over you, and that like warmth is genuinely, it feels like a hug. Like, it feels like a hug. It feels like there is a presence with you and you're not alone, and it's like a reminder that like, hey, I'm gonna get you through this, like, you're going to be okay. And it has helped me in so many ways. Prayer was like an immediate, it's an immediate like go-to for everything, but especially in those moments where like you need to switch your perspective and to have more gratitude and be more grateful. It's like prayer is just, whew, like, let me breathe, let me take a pause for a minute, let me speak to the Lord so he can get me back on track and open my eyes to what I'm not currently seeing in this moment. To strengthen gratitude, here are some of the practices that I felt like were very, very effective. Was number one, a gratitude walk. So going on a walk, and I'm talking about a gratitude walk with no music, maybe a podcast, but like no music, no distractions, like really just going on a walk, like on a walk to clear your mind, to hear your own thoughts and to hear yourself and to just like observe what's currently around you. that has helped so much, especially like just appreciating nature and appreciating what the Lord has created and just life in general. I think sometimes our brains are so constantly working that we like overtire ourselves and we don't realize it when we are in those states of like negativity and everything sucks. We're just really tired and our brains are overworked and we're overstimulated. So it's like taking that moment to genuinely like give yourself a clean slate, go on a walk, clear your thoughts, give yourself peace and quiet has changed so much when grasping that control, like over your mentality and over your thoughts, and you know, taking the direction of where your thoughts will potentially be going. My other one is 3 things that you're grateful for every morning. So when you first wake up, it's really good to not go on your phone right away. It's good to just absorb in those low brainwave states and appreciate your morning. If you got a dream journal, I advise a dream journal. You know, get into the word, do meditation. That's like the perfect time to do your prayer. And in that moment, do 3 things that you're grateful for. So 3 things that you're grateful for, something different every single day. And you will start to just naturally be like, I'm grateful today for this and for this and for this. And it immediately like puts your mood and puts your mental into a good state to be able to go throughout your day. I'm very familiar with how like your mornings are so important, but I'm pretty sure that like your mornings are the tone for your whole entire day. So depending on how your morning goes is how your tone is going to be set for the whole day. And that's why it's so crucial and important for me to prioritize the morning and prioritize what you're doing in the morning and making sure that it's pouring into you to be able to energize you and keep you in a good state for the rest of the day, because there's a lot of stuff that we deal with in our day, and if we can have a peaceful morning, that is going to be a priority. And then the third one, I'm not gonna lie, I have not tried this, but it's something that I definitely think I would want to get into, is a gratitude journal. So whenever you're feeling like in a moment or a state of gratitude, or every single day, maybe before you go to bed, you write down what you're grateful for throughout that day, and then you put it into, or I'm sorry, did I say journal? I meant to say jar. But you put it into a jar, and then at the times where you're feeling like I'm not feeling the most grateful, you can pull from the jar and read it and be like, I'm grateful for this. And maybe on that piece of paper put why, because I think a lot of the times, like if you just write I'm grateful for grass, you're gonna pull that out one day and be like, girl, what are you talking about? Like you would be so mad. I would be so mad. I'd be like, girl, please, grateful for grass. Like I would be so mad. So I think maybe putting that why would definitely help, and you could just put it in the jar and then pick it out whenever, you know, you are in those emotional states and needing a reminder, or even if you're like just feeling low. Practice to reframe your thoughts. So instead of, you know, being like, why is this happening to me, always think about what is this teaching me. It's so much easier said than done as anything, but truly reframing your mentality and your thoughts to see a different perspective is all about what gratitude really is at its core. Gratitude is appreciation. It's like thinking about all of the beautiful things in your life and being able to understand how much good that they do for you. Every little thing pours into you, regardless if it is a positive or a negative. And one thing about the Lord is that he can take any situation and make it into a positive and make it into a way that will benefit you. Think about life that way. Think about situations that way. Think about, you know, whatever comes across on your path that may be a burden, or maybe like, oh, why is this happening to me? Or like, what is going on? Think about it in a way of like, what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? Like, where's the positive in this situation, and how can I go about it? One situation I always think about too is how, like, say for an example, you're getting ready to like go out and you get a flat tire. I always think about how in those moments, those are such burdens. You're like, oh, like I need to leave. Like, why am I getting a flat tire? Like, you just want to like flip out, because that's probably like your last straw. Like, that is probably like the last straw. You're like, I do not, like, I'm gonna flip out. But obviously those certain situations happen because it's God telling us like, hey, you know, I'm trying to protect you from whatever could potentially could happen to you. Like if you do go out tonight, or if you do take your car to go out, like I'm trying to prevent something bad from happening. And at the end of the day, like, you know, maybe a few days later, you understand why you got your flat tire. I don't know, maybe like there was an icy road or something. I don't know. But like, it's interesting how things will happen, and they happen at the most inconvenient times, but it's always for the better of our good. And if we don't understand it now, we're going to understand it later. So you might as well try to shape your mentality to get used to being like, okay, maybe this is something good for me, and listen to that discernment and open your ears a little bit towards it and be like, I'm gonna lean into this, I'm gonna be grateful for what's happening. And then it just becomes easier as life goes on, and then we become those people who are like, I live joyfully every single day. No, just kidding. But it does become so much easier, and you're like genuinely in a happier state and carrying life a lot more easily and lightly than you would have previously. And that's just the ultimate goal. You want to be able to be in a situation or be in, you know, something that is just not the greatest, and flip your mentality about it and look at the positive and be able to recognize the positive. There is always light in darkness, and being able to see that lightness is going to be so beneficial to your life in every single area and to your growth. And it's only going to get easier as you continue to practice these mentalities and you continue to remain in these mental states. I hope that you guys find some ways to bring some gratitude into your life, or invite gratitude into your life in the way that fits best for you. Obviously, learning and absorbing is not a one size fits all. It's going to take different practices or different routes for you to get to a specific point. Our ultimate goal is to remain as consistent as possible within gratitude, and to continue to appreciate the life and beautiful blessings around us that the Lord continues to surround us with, so that way we can invite more blessings and more abundance, because you deserve it and you are deserving of all the abundance. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in another video. Bye.